to me, it is surprising that still in this world we talk about this distinction that men are leaders and women are not leaders. And I want to shift that mindset. I did not say I want to change the mindset. Change takes a long time. The first step is to recognize that leadership characteristics are inherent in women.
This is where it all begins, so say goodbye to all your fears, all your doubts. This is where they die. This is where we come to win, we come to fly. This is where we make our dreams come to life. Welcome to Innovation City.
Welcome to Innovation City, a podcast featuring the innovators, disruptors, and creators who are making things happen today. My name is Michael T. Johnson. I'm here with my co-host Tyler Kelly, and we're in St. Louis tonight at Venture Cafe St. Louis. So Venture Cafe is the #1 largest gathering of innovators anywhere in the world. So we're very, very happy today because we have Farzana Chohan with us tonight.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So for everyone out there listening or watching, I want you to know about Farzana. She is an author, a speaker, a doctor of management, executive director, distinguished Toastmaster. And her writing is not about herself, rather it's about what she sees and feels in fellow humanity, fellow human beings. And I think that's really interesting. She started an organization called Leadership in Women and written a book of the same title. And she's a futurist thinker focused on thought leadership, inclusiveness, and mentoring concepts in our interconnected world. And I'm super excited to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Tyler and Michael.
So Farzana, take us back to your inspiration. So what inspired you to go down the path that you've gone down?
If you're asking about the path of leadership in women, that became clear to me some 5-6 years ago as I was studying leadership theories as part of my Doctor of Management program. And I realized, wait, this is the story of my life, but I don't see myself. And meaning I'm not looking for myself as a person, I'm looking for where are the theories about women. All theories you studied in leadership are centered on women, on men, not on women. And to give you an example, one theory called Great Man Theory, have you heard about it?
I haven't. Tell me about it.
So it's a theory on leadership, and it says that men are great leaders. Okay, so period. The 50% of the world does not exist anymore because that other 50% right now is women. We don't talk about them. And that made me wonder. I look back at my journey. I look back at the journey of all other women who are in professions, who are in the world, and not to discount mothers. They all lead every day, every minute, every second, but we don't talk about them. In academia, we don't talk about them. In a real world, we don't talk about them. And in a professional world, we don't talk about them. Looking at the theories, I said, okay, do I have to do something about it? And, being a woman, sometimes you think, oh, no, someone else will do it. But then I decided I want to because I keep on running into the same challenges which I ran into 20 plus years ago when I started as an architect after my graduation. And I still see myself getting those same challenges, so the same denials on moving up into the leadership roles as the younger generation after me. My niece's generation, I don't have daughter, but if I had a daughter, she would be at the same point. I talk to my friends who have daughters, who have graduated, who are working. They have the same challenge going on in their lives in different form and shape. World has moved, but world has moved horizontally, linearly. It has not moved up vertically. That made me go to that path of writing about it and promoting it and creating a global platform where we can connect women and ask a recognition for the leadership in them, in the world. The first step is to start recognizing that women are leaders, and we will go from there. So that's where I stand at this moment.
And you mentioned that you started off as an architect.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that experience. Just that, your first job, like starting at a firm and just...
So as you can see me, I'm not from here. And so I was born and raised in Pakistan. And that part of the world has a colonial past, if you understand that. The larger subcontinent of India was ruled by Britishers at one time, and when they left, India and Pakistan became two countries. That part of the world is still have a 1,000-year-old history of culture and practices which are patriarchal in mindset. When I say patriarchal, it means man. The mindset is man are dominant, just like we talked about the great man theory. And there is nothing wrong in that, but that mindset has ingrained in every fiber of our being. Even a woman will tell you, if you'll ask that who is a leader, they will say man is a leader. It never occurred to them that they themselves are a leader. In that environment, I fortunately became an architect because of the support of people around me. We were only 6 girls in a class. We were 28 students when we started, so 6 girls and the rest were boys. When you graduate, 3 never started working. 3 girls never started working, and that was the exact argument our class fellows had with us when we started the School of Architecture program for 5 years. They said, you are taking a seat of a man who will support his family in future, and you are taking a livelihood of a man, and you are not going to work. And that's what happened. Three girls never worked. I will not blame them. It is not their fault, but it is the way culture around us is, that you get good education and move on. 3 of us started working. I was one of them. I had a good fortune of working at a good place in Karachi. And when I say it was a good firm, because they supported that little percentage of girls who were coming into the profession very well. They provided a good support system for them. But when you go to the construction sites, think about some 20 years ago, you are the only girl and you are young, so you look pretty also. So they think that you can be anything. You can be note taker, you can be secretary, but you cannot be an architect. And that was the kind of an interesting dynamic. And you walk in, you are each one of us is an intelligent human being. And when you see a body language that you are not an architect, but you can be anything else on here, and what are you doing here, by the way, kind of scenario. So that path in that regard has been quite interesting. In the beginning, it was a little bit of not a little bit, it was a botheration that why people don't take you seriously as a professional. But with time and with support of so many good people around me, both men and women, I had a good professional architectural career.
So tell me about that. The first time you walk onto a job site. Mm-hmm. How old were you?
25.
In your early 20s.
Uh-huh.
How did that feel, and how did you process that?
It felt very strange to me, but my own background, I have lots of brothers, so I'm very comfortable around guys and boys. I have that confidence. So for me, it was, for the lack of any better word, it was little bothersome for me that the guys on the job site or in the meeting will not take me that seriously. But I did not feel that I am different from them in terms of what I can offer. So it felt very strange, that dynamic in the beginning where they don't know what to make of you, how to take you seriously or not, and myself not knowing how to interact with them was a little bit strange. Not difficult, but strange. And once we got used to, and I worked in that environment for many years, it all settled down, and now you can go back and talk to those people, and they will have a good laugh about it. So do I. But hindsight is 20/20.
Always.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how did you get from there to the work you're doing now?
So I decided after working for many years, almost 8 years, that I want to get my master's in architecture done. And America is a land of dream. Everyone wants to come and at least get education from here. That was very inspiring. So I came to Washington University for my master's in architecture. and I completed that. Then I started working in St. Louis, and as I myself now put a label on me is that I am a nomad, and I am a global trotter. So I moved to Boston, then I moved to Canada, then I did architectural work around all places, and then I realized towards the end I want to get my tertiary degree, I want to do my doctorate, and I really love St. Louis. I have very fond memories of when I started in St. Louis, so I came back to St. Louis to do my doctorate, and that's what I am doing right now.
The organization Leadership in Women, obviously the life story, the professional journey has brought you to this point. And I think you mentioned just a few minutes ago that you were fortunate, where some women may not have been or aren't, to have people that supported you along the way, like really good supporters, if you will.
Yes. So I started Leadership in Women when I started my doctorate, and I kept on thinking about it. And it also made me wonder to compare and contrast my own life, like how I got here and why my friends are not here, why my cousins are not here. All girls I'm talking about of my age or younger than me. Was there anything different about me and them? No. Each one of us have same human potential, same creativity, same drive, same ideas to take your life to the next level. But they did not got the same support and the mentoring I got in my life. I will say I am lucky. I was at the right place at the right time. I had good mentors at my family. My uncle supported me a lot, definitely. My parents, my mother and father did. But then in college, architectural school, my dean supported a lot. I did a leprosy center as a research project, and my class fellows were against it because it's an infectious disease. They did not wanted me to come back to college after visiting a place like that. But he supported, my bosses supported me in my architectural work, my senior colleagues supported me, a lot of men. And then in my leadership journey, a lot of men and women have supported me. I think when you have a spark, when you show an interest, people come and help you in gaining whatever your dreams are, realizing whatever your dreams are.
That's great. Yeah.
So you say that the number one differentiator was your support system. So what is it that you are trying to accomplish with Leadership in Women? Like what's the goal?
The goal is that, as I said, if to me it is surprising that still in this world we talk about this distinction that men are leaders and women are not leaders, and I want to shift that mindset. Take my word, I am saying a sentence, I want to shift that mindset. I did not say I want to change the mindset. Change takes a long time. The first step is to recognize that leadership characteristics are inherent in women. Until and unless we start acknowledging it, recognizing it, having discussions around it openly and accepting it, we will not go to the next level of this recognition, where we will say, if you will ask me a question that who are your favorite leaders, I will give you a name of a Mary Parker Follett or Ursula Franklin, instead of giving you some male names. And I want that to be the same way. When I ask you, give me name of your favorite leaders, the most inspired leaders, I want you to automatically have a name of female leader in there. And when we are talking about leaders, I am not asking you to give me a name of a political leader or a religious leader, a female political or religious leader, because that's where our mind, human mind, automatically goes. I want you to talk about women who have done great work in management, in science, in technology, in engineering, in volunteer fields. I just said a name, Mary Parker Follett. She is a North American. Have you heard about her? Okay. Do you know that she is called Mother of Management? The modern day management practice is based on her transformational leadership theory. We don't. I am talking about North America. In North America, we don't know a name of Mary Parker Follett, and she was not some ancient time. She was in 20th century. Then how how you will know about a woman in other parts of the world who have done this work? Point here is, if we don't know about a woman in our own country, no matter what country you belong to, then this will not start rolling. This ball will not start rolling, and we will not shift that mindset. So that's what my work is. And in the book I have written, I talk about the 4 characteristics which today's corporate world asks us to have in every corporate leader. Those are modern day words: emotional intelligence,
Yeah.
empathy,
Yep.
grit, resilience. Now you tell me, you are sitting here, you have mothers, you have sisters, you have friends who are female. Haven't you seen them having all these characteristics? Almost all of them.
Yeah.
More than, if I can say, if you don't agree, it's all right. But if I can say more than men, women have these characteristics, because they could have not arrived here, or I could have not arrived here as part of millions of other women, sit here and talk to you, because we came across a lot of challenges. It was not given to us on a silver platter. It takes grit, it takes resilience, and it takes an emotional intelligence and higher level of intelligence to be here. So that is what I want to do, sincerely.
And it's interesting how, it makes sense coming from Pakistan that 1,000 years of history has created this conditioning that is persistent. But then you come over here and it's just as persistent. So I find that's very interesting.
Tyler, you brought a very good point, and that's what actually motivated me to pick up a pen and start writing. I'm not a writer by any means, otherwise. That you come from a part of the world which is called a third world country, and you come to a Western world or a first world region, and you think your life will not have the same challenges which you encountered and which other encounter in that part of the world. I can go on a political side also, but let's leave that in a professional circumstance, leave that alone. In a professional context, working in an office, working in a profession, working in a male-dominated profession is still very same. It is similar, it is universal as it was back in other part of the world. Women still go through the same resistance, same friction, same challenges when they say, I want to go to the next level of leadership. They are sometimes laughed upon, if not in front of them, at least at the back of it. And to give you an example, so that you don't think I am just speaking and venting out, American Collegiate School of Architecture, ACSA, published a study in 2014. The title of the study is Where Are Women in Architecture? They have statistics, and it is available online. You can see it. 51% of the students who register in School of Architecture in America are female. When they graduate after 5 years of degree, that percentage drops down to 40%. They never enter into the profession. So why I was saying about my class fellows who never started a profession, it is in 2014, this is in America. When they get into the profession of architecture and move up, the professional practicing architects, female, are 25%. And as they move up into the leadership role, the percentage is 8 to 10%. And the awards given by AIA, American Institute of Architects, the highest honor they can give, is still in 1 to 2% range. And AIA is not a new organization. It is over 100-year-old organization. So to your point, you think you come from a region of the world which is backwards to the first world or forward region, and you still see exactly same thing, same universalities what women are facing. That makes you wonder what's going on and how you can keep on wondering what's going on, or you can try to do something about it at a very minute scale.
So, I mean, that's a good point. So, what do we do about it? What do we do to start shifting perspectives, like you're talking about?
So my effort, what I am trying to do, I have written a book mentioning the theories and the examples of the women who have done work in other fields of the work of the professions. I start talking about them and connect through a global platform, a global virtual platform in that context, because it is important for women to know that there are other women who are doing great work. And because every time you are in a situation, you feel like I am the only one, this is only happening to me, no one else understands it. No, there are a lot of millions of women and actually men also who understand this, because they see their own female counterparts, their significant others, more than that, their daughters and their nieces also. So start having those conversations, connect with each other, share the stories, share the advancements, share what the success is, and then take it to the next level. Get into leadership. Do not hesitate. Do not stop yourself thinking, oh, someone else has told me I do not have that capability, so I'm not going to do it. So get into it. And once you are kind of connected and you understand that it is a universal thing and it is a universal way to move forward, that's the only way we can thrive. And when I say we can thrive, I'm not talking about that women can thrive. I'm talking about a world in which women and men live together and they can thrive. Because men are supportive of women. It is not a struggle between genders. It is a struggle about the mindset which we have inculcated in ourselves, which we have ingrained in our brains because it was told to us, it was given to us, and somehow it lives at the back of our mind unconsciously, not consciously, and we can really shift it if we start consciously looking at it and working on it.
So this is what I find interesting, just that whole subconscious or unconscious insistent message that influences behavior, that is probably equally, in women as it is in men. And it seems that, through every generation, there's like a younger generation that is open, but then all of a sudden, like 30 years into their, like from their 20s to their 50s, like it pops up again. So right now, the Millennial Generation is open to women leadership. Is that enough, or are we going to see the same thing in 50 years if we don't start to change that?
So it is interesting that you have brought this point, and I have thought about it, but not as in detail as I want to, that how we morph into our own parents. When we have said that we don't want to be our parents, we will never be them. I guess in life we get exhausted by the constant struggle or a constant fight. An easy way out is not to fight it anymore. And that is why I think it is important for millennials and next generation Zs who are coming in to understand that world has moved forward, and this digital revolution will, it has given to the new generation was not there for older generation or my generation. I'm a hybrid generation. I can still understand connectivity and digital learning, but older generation was not able to do it. So younger generation has a tool, has a power not to go back if they decide to, and they have to consciously work on it. I think they will not go back to their parents' generation. They might be 50% there, but they do not have the same. I believe the difference was the information. Digital revolution has given the younger generation information on their fingertip, while my generation did not have that information on my fingertip. I had to accept what my parents and older family members told me or my teachers told me, and I had to take it as is. Younger generation will not take it as is what is told to them. So I have a hope for them that if world will change, it will change because of the younger generation, not because of the older generation. And nothing against older generation, they have wonderful experiences in life, but we all have to move forward. We are now in 21st century. We cannot go back. The only way forward is going forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Completely.
So what does the world look like when we have more women leaders? We know about more women leaders because from what I understand, some of the studies and statistics about women in leadership are that things are way more successful when women are involved in high levels of leadership and things like that. So what does the world look like then?
So women are team players. If you look, and I am very highly impressed by what women do as a mother. If you look at a household and how mother keeps it together and how she collaborates and how she is able to do a teamwork with all different children, women are collaborative, women are team players, women have high level of emotional intelligence, and they can improve that also, further improve it or enhance it, and they have empathy towards whoever they are working with. These are the characteristics which differentiate them from their male counterparts in professions to a certain level. So the world which women will be leading will more look like a harmonious, collaborative, calm, and peaceful world. I read somewhere, I believe a year ago, that if women are at the helm of leadership, there will be more peace in the world. And let's give women that chance to have more peace in the world. And that will encapsulate what else they can do, the world we are looking for. That's what my hope is.
Yeah.
I love that. We talked a little bit about universal mindsets. The only way to change that is one person at a time. So what's some advice, and the unconscious, these unconscious mindsets that we have. So what can someone who's listening that is 100% on board with this vision of the future, our vision of the future, what can they do personally to start to begin to unwrite and unlearn some of that social conditioning?
One thing is that for both women and men, do not give up. Do not give up on what you think is right. Do not go back and adapt the old habits again. And why I don't use the word change is because if you want to change the world, if I'm pointing at you, my other three fingers are pointing at me. I have to change myself. If you want to change the world, they have to change themselves also. And I want to look at yourself as part of a large humanity. In this connected world, we are one humanity. And if you want a peace of mind, a peaceful life for yourself, you have to expect and give that to all others around you, starting from your immediate circle to the larger circle, whether it is professional or volunteer work, whatever you are doing. Definitely you will do it for your family and your immediate community, but I am asking you to look at a larger world and treat each other as human beings who are connected together. We are connected, not just in physical ways, we are connected at human level. I don't want to throw in other words in here. Yes.
Yeah, I think we are. I mean, I think we're right there with you. I think we understand what you're saying. Thank you. This has been an amazing discussion, and we're very happy that you were here with us today.
Okay.
How can people get the book?
The book is on Amazon.com. If you will Google Leadership in Women, and "in" is capitalized in there. We did not talk about it, but
Well, tell us about that, because you can't see it here, but in everywhere else, the I and the N are capitalized.
yes. So the book is available on Amazon, and why "in" is capitalized? Because "in" is derived from the word inherent. And the premises of the concept is that leadership characteristics are inherent in women. We talked about the 4 characteristics: emotional intelligence, empathy, grit, and resilience. And these are the very characteristics which are in women, starting from a young age as a young girl, supporting family or mother in the household chores, and going up all the way to the leader of the country, the leader of the organization. And you know what? You can also kind of do a Google search and see large corporate organizations which are run by women at this time, and how their indexes or their percentages feel as compared to their counterpart male in leadership roles. And why we have not provided women the same corporate level leadership platform, because it will make a huge difference. Look at Melinda Gates, look at all other examples, and see what they are doing to make this world a better place. Yeah.
And how can people get in touch with you online?
So we have a website called leadershipinwomen.com, and there is an email address, pr@leadershipinwomen.com, WMEN, women. And if you will Google search my name, you will find me also. I have a LinkedIn profile also and a Facebook page too.
Wonderful.
And all of that information will be posted by
It will.
Innovation.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been great. Thank you very much.
Farzana, thank you.
For more episodes, visit innovationcity.co. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review. If you're in St. Louis, visit us on a Thursday night. You can find details at vincafstl.org. You can also connect with us on social at We Are Slam or at Venture Cafe STL.
This is where it all begins, so stay